I went to Art of Scent to check out the only Filipino niche brand there, Wren Atelier. I got to speak with the owner and perfumer and I got us some samples, so let's talk about the fragrances. Before we start, I just gotta hand it to Wren Atelier and Renato Lopena Jr., the perfumer. The Filipino knows himself. He's pioneering Filipino perfumery right now. And more people should know about this, especially Filipinos. If you love fragrances and you've been curious about how Filipino perfumery smells like, this is it. Check this out. Anyway, I have 8 fragrances from them and I got to experience a new Art of Scent Wren Atelier exclusive presented by the perfumer himself. So watch till the end to check that out. Also, I just like to mention that I have spent time with these fragrances and these are my thoughts over a span of a couple of weeks. So I'm excited to go through them again with you guys. In no particular order, first we have Hashenderos. In the opening, you get that blast of fizzy, almost sparkling lemon with an herbaceousness from the rosemary and the buchu betulina, which is a white flower. It's rarely seen in other fragrances, and you rarely see it. You rarely see it in other fragrances. It's a unique fragrance note, and it adds this somewhat minty kind of vibe that you get from this. So you get something like lemon, a grassy herbaceousness, rosemary, and that mint. It's so cooling, like smelling it up to my nose. It almost has like that Vicks Vapor Rub kind of cooling effect. It's really good. The mid just serves as somewhat of a like transition into the dry down. You just get more of the greenness of the fragrance. More of the grassy nature comes out, but you still get that lemon and minty vibe. As you transition into the base, you get this Fluve Accord, which is also pretty unique. It gives this kind of dry, grassy scent to the fragrance. Something like dried grass in the mud. I know it doesn't sound good, but it works. Pair that with a Barnyard Accord and the leather, you get a picturesque scene of farms in the Philippines. After it dries down and the notes all blend together really well, I also get this powdery note. Something like Johnson's Baby Powder. If you're Filipino, you get what I mean. So it's this powdery, fresh, uplifting, zesty fragrance that can be worn anywhere, anytime, and it's just very versatile. One of the best in my opinion. I just love fresh fragrances with a lot of depth and character to them. This is just one of those. It's unique, it's not generic at all, and it has some nostalgia to it. Just feels like you're spending a day in your hacienda, you know, just having an icy cold lemonade with some farmers working with their carabaos. It just paints a picturesque image of the heart of the Filipino, which are its farmers. And it really makes sense why this is called Hashenderos. Lemon, mint, rosemary, leather, a unique fresh fragrance that literally smells old money. Next up, we have Cocoa Mint. Now, this is one of the more simpler fragrances in the collection, but it works. You get a photorealistic mint with a powdery cacao. Imagine fresh mint leaves and chocolate chips. That's what this smells like. In the mid, you get more of the floral and green notes from the iris and geranium. They just pop out. It gives off a luxury spa kind of vibe. The chocolate's still there. It's gonna be there from opening till dry down, just like the mint. And as it transitions into the dry down, the chocolate develops more of a creaminess to it, which is really, really nice. In the dry down, like I mentioned, the chocolate becomes creamier and the mint is still there, but they both take center stage and it turns into this mint chocolate ice cream, which is so nice. The vanilla comes out and you get this dry woodiness from the sandalwood. This also has musk and costus, which is another rare note, and it's supposed to smell animalic, or I don't know, I get a husky kind of scent. I can imagine having mint chocolate ice cream in an empty coconut husk. Add some more fresh mint leaves on top and you get this. When you think of gourmands, usually you think of dense, syrupy, sweet fragrances, you know, very edible of course, and this is also that, but this has an airiness because of that mint. And it's just like ice cream. Okay, it's perfect for our weather. So if you want something that's fresh but gourmand, this is my favorite. And the full bottle is on the way because I love this so much. Chocolate, mint, vanilla, Amazing stuff. Speaking of dense gourmands, this next one is just that. This is Valencil Romance. We're going on a trip with this one. So this fragrance apparently is an ode to the perfumer and his wife and their prenup shoot at Valencil in France. Oh, this is so good. This gives me goosebumps every time I smell it. In the opening, you get a blast of dense chocolate and butter, like melted butter. Valencil is a place in France with lavender, sunflower, wheat fields, and you get all of that here. So along with the dense chocolate and butter, you get lavender, honey, wheat, sunflower oil, and it's chaotic, but it works. It's very romantic. It smells like passion or something like that. It sounds very cliche, but it is very, very romantic. It's like all the notes are making love to each other. It's this cacophony of scents that just blend together really, really well. And it just makes me feel stuff. It gives me butterflies in my stomach, especially after the perfumer, Renato Lopena Jr., told me about his story and his wife, how they had that shoot over there. It was so romantic. You know, it works, and I just saw his vision and it brought me there. I love the honey accord in this, and the lavender just adds that touch of freshness and class, and the wheat and hay just adds that earthiness. It just rounds it out. It's amazing. It's really, really good. You also get that malt and that syrupy beeswax. It's chaotic, but it's beautiful. It's amazing. And this is something I think I'd wear for special occasions. Black tie event, wedding, things like that. It's a special fragrance, and I recommend you get your nose on this. This one is a masterpiece. All right, next up is Cervesa Rosa. This is a very fun scent, and if you like Oud Satin Mood by MFK, you'll like this one. This opens up with a fresh green spice from the coriander and pink pepper. And even though Gaiac wood is listed as a base note, you get it right away. Like I mentioned, it's similar to Oud Satin Mood. You get that lychee, rose, and apple combo that's very refreshing. But instead of leaning more towards the oud side of things, this is fruitier. This has more fizz to it. It's like, it smells like a drink because of that beer note in this as well. This also has a beer note, so that fizz that you get from the beer, like freshly poured beer, you get that fizziness from that. It's a juicy, fruity scent that also reminds me of sangria. It has that sparkling, malty scent that it kind of makes me thirsty. As it dries down, the spices take a step back, and you're left with this juicy, fizzy, fruity beer sangria cocktail. It's really fun. It's really fun. Again, if you like Oud Satin Mood but want a more fresher take on that, with more fruits, with more of a fizzy vibe to it, then you'll like this one. Lotus Royal. Now this opens up with a juicy blast of fruits and citruses. You get a lot of red berries from this. Now, talking to the perfumer, he did mention that this is inspired by Egypt and its royalty, something like Cleopatra. That image of being fed red berries while sitting down, being fanned by, that kind of vibe. There's a lotus in this, which is another rare thing to see in fragrances. And to me, it adds this green, dewy kind of watery vibe, which is really nice. It adds some freshness to it. It's almost like an aquatic vibe. And after a while, you get that saffron that just adds a little bit more complexity to the fragrance. Now, as it dries down, I do get the woods and the amber, but I don't really get the patchouli in this. But it's a really well-blended fragrance, just like everything in the collection. Citrus, berries, watery lotus, and woods. A very wearable, fresh, juicy fragrance. Next up, we have Smoky Gourmand. This smells like the provinces in the Philippines. If you grew up in the Philippines, this is gonna be a very familiar scent. When you spray it on, you get that pandan right away, like literally pandan, buko pandan. And you get that tupig that adds that kakanin vibe. Now the perfumer again is from Pangasinan, so this is an ode to where he grew up. And it just shows how much he loves Filipino culture and our delicacies. He did also mention that he studied as a chef. It just makes sense why most of his fragrances are gourmands, because he was surrounded by a lot of food. And you know, Filipino culture is all about the food, so this just makes sense. The green mango freshens it up right away, and this just smells very festive. This smells similar to Memoire de Montagne by GP Fragrances, and it makes sense because it's the same perfumer. Renato Lupena Jr. is the perfumer behind that fragrance, and this is the father, the granddaddy of that fragrance. It's denser, it's deeper. It smells so real that I can see the notes in front of me. I can see the pandan, the tupig in front of me. It's just, it's amazing what perfumery can. This also has our local vetiver, Vetiver Filipina. It has vanilla, musk, amber. This is very Pinoy, and if you like the smell of fiestas, kakanin, green mango, you'll like this one. This next one is an ode to Manila. Manila Oud. This one is really an acquired taste. This is very unique. It's very dense and it's very smoky and animalic. Not everybody would like this, but if you get the vision, if you get the inspiration, you can appreciate this. This opens up with that calamansi and ginger. Oh, yeah. And the nutmeg adds some warmth and spice to the opening. The mid is where it gets interesting. So it has a lot of layers to it. In the mid, you get hit with this sampaguita that guides you through the fragrance. And you get this caramelized sugar kind of scent that reminds you of banana Q. Yes, the banana Q that gets sold on the streets of Manila. That's what this smells like in the mid. You still get that calamansi and ginger that just freshens it out a little bit, so it's not just that caramelized sweet sugar that you smell. It's very fresh, it's well balanced. There's a fruitiness and slightly green note to it that really reminds you of banana Q being sold on the streets. This still smells really good to me. It just takes me to Manila. As it dries down, you get more of the oud, the smoke. It really reminds you of old Manila. There's a dirtiness and a funk to it that reminds you of the streets of Manila. It doesn't smell bad, but it just has that slight kick, that interesting kick to it that, I don't know, I appreciate it, okay? I love these things about perfumery, how it takes you places, how it takes these scents that don't really smell good on paper, but once you smell it like this, it makes sense and it just takes you on a journey. Imagine walking along the streets of Manila, Tondo, vendors selling food, sampaguita in the streets. You get that smoke from the jeepneys, the taxis, and that old woody scent or woody vibe that you get from the old buildings there, Manila Cathedral, the Manila Hotel, that sampaguita note of that kind of reminds you of church on Sundays. It just has so many layers to it, and it's just an ode to Manila. It paints this portrait of Manila, its culture and its history. It's just very nostalgic and very melancholic. Calamansi, sampaguita, banana Q, and oud, a complex fragrance that's an ode to Manila. Lastly, we have batok. Now this is inspired by the Mamba Batok of Buscalan. Another really interesting one. I get that inky vibe right away, along with that ripe, juicy blood orange and pomelo. It's really, really fresh, along with that rose and bamboo. So you get some floral notes to this, and the metallic notes come in the mid. It's literally like stuffing stainless steel to your nose. That's how it smells to me. So you get that fruity blood orange with that inky note and that stainless steel. It's very interesting. As all the notes blend together, the patchouli and the oak moss give this feeling of being in the mountains. There is a wool in this that's supposed to give off somewhat of an animalic note, and I get something like that, but I get more of like I get something fibrous, like something being woven together. It depicts the mountains and the Mamba Batok really well, and I get the vision, okay? It really just takes you there. I can imagine hiking up the mountain to get a tattoo and getting your sack grabbed. It's their thing. Juicy, blood orange, pomelo, metal, and bamboo. One of a kind. And that's it for Wren Atelier. I really wanted to make this video because short form really doesn't do Wren Atelier justice. Okay, I mean, his fragrances are so complex and it needs to be talked about more. It needs to be appreciated because it's an ode to us as Filipinos, our culture, our cities, and it just takes you places. It takes me places. It takes me on an experience, and that's what perfumery is to me. Props to Renato Lopena Jr. He has made so many amazing fragrances, and he's just released a new fragrance. I think it's called El Cardenal. It's a citrus coffee blend that I really want to get my nose on. But before that, I interviewed him at Art of Scent. I got to experience Annapurna at Art of Scent with him, so I'll show you the clip right now. Inspired by India.
Yeah, it's
right?
Annapurna. It's
Annapurna.
named after the Indian goddess. This is the Art of Scent exclusive scent.
It's an exclusive scent. You can only get it here.
Yeah, it's only
Okay,
here
only
for
here.
Art of Scent.
Okay.
And I specifically developed this scent for them.
So can you walk me through it? Like, what about India is in this bottle?
The top notes are mint and coriander. And then the heart notes are biryani accord. Then you have the tuberose, some to add a floral, creamy aspect to the fragrance. And then it also has the soured milk or yogurt, because when we make biryani, you add yogurt.
The yogurt, yeah, that's a staple in
Yes.
Indian cuisine,
Yes.
right? And I love how you blend the citrus in here, and it's actually, you know, you get the biryani in the background. It's not at the forefront of the fragrance.
Yes.
So when people smell this, they don't expect biryani. They don't think that right
Yeah.
away, right? But I get the sourness of the yogurt.
Yes.
Nandun yung sourness ng yogurt and the coriander and tuberose. I think the tuberose adds some
Creamy.
creamy. Okay,
but-
we've sprayed this na kanina, and I kept smelling it. That's why we just started recording right now.
Yes.
Because it's really addicting. It's really nice. It's smooth. It's well blended.
Yeah.
And you said there's sandalwood here. the
Yeah,
base,
sandalwood base,
musk.
musk.
You also like your musks,
Yeah,
and just smoothens out the fragrance.
And amber.
Amber as well. And there you have it. Get your nose on this, and I'll see you on the next one.